y'all ready to get this thing started? Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, first we get settled. Welcome. Alright, y'all. Can y'all just say Black Joy one time? Black Joy. And one more time, say Black Joy. Black Joy. And that's exactly why we are here. My name is Kino Ivar. I'm the founder and director of the Black Table Arts Cooperative. What is the Black Table Arts Cooperative? It is a pay-what-you-can co-op for Black artists in Minnesota. We just got started February 25th. We've been doing work in Minnesota since 2015. This is our first location. You can become a member on our website. This event is Chai and Chill. And what is Chai and Chill? Chai and Chill is a Black poetry. Well, we just kick it. We hear poems. We talk about Black togetherness. What does that mean? In this today, in this year, in 2021. I'm excited to see the poets tonight. I'm excited to hang out with y'all. This is a space that is free from racism, sexism, homophobia, all the things that make Black life less possible, because what we're trying to do in this space is make Black life more possible. Yeah? Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm only the co-host for tonight. Al Sanders is going to be a co-host as well. Al Sanders is the director of operations here. Yeah, let's get this thing started. I don't have the sign-up sheet. Justice, the sign-up sheet. Yes, we're going to get this poetry reading going. Quick show of hands, how many poets do we have in the room right now? How many poets do we have in the room right now? Did all of y'all sign up on the sign-up sheet to perform? Just checking. Just checking. Is it cool if I start us off with the poem? Yeah. Really? All right. I haven't performed in a very long time. So we're going to see what's happening. What's going to happen. In the spoken word tradition, this is not a silent poetry reading. If you hear something you like, how you respond to it. You snap, right? It's an engagement. It's a communal experience, yeah? I really had a performance from it. Collage of things I found in the garden. Midnight people behind bushes avoiding targets. And I don't really get it. Is he a scholar or is he an artist? He's been preoccupied trying to make common a process. Public programs for public profits I see in the comments. Profits and predictions, my people procuring what we have in common. Share profits, grow a garden, Kino, I learned the best of this from sharecroppers, grow crops, and turn the rest of this into a great option. Dream surface, deep searches, a few graduate students and root workers, a bunch of kids who never got convinced of capital and its workings, things I think at midnight before the sun surfaces. Moonlight, blueprints and moonlight, photographs of trees, leaves, and things that breathe life. Beginning with bodies, how do people turn into beings that breathe life? Capitalism didn't expect its property to think, probably should think twice, blink twice. The bank of the river said I paid my dues twice. It's been played in a blues song, just added rap music and a few lights. Traditional scholarship, trap music, the hood gave it a few likes. Close proximity to witches in neighborhoods getting their food right. Like how? We move militant under clouds, handguns, and master's house. Like, should we give them the benefit of the doubt? A bunch of siblings like, nah. We benefit from the sound of voodoo mantras and getting my people out. Like, wow, Kino, don't the species face disintegration? Did Harriet Tubman write a prayer for Western civilization? Probably not. They ain't found out with the sound nonchalant, but this is late-stage capitalism. Cooperatives is all we got. In the lanterns of dark people, my people, dark, bright, I call them bright people as in the indigenous theory of all people. To get closer to the core, not to ignore the flaws, people. That's the poem. Thanks y'all for coming out tonight. So, we have poets for y'all. So I'm going to say who's on deck, and then who's coming to the mic, right? So on deck we have King Laz. Did I say that right? King Laz? Word. Okay, on deck we have King Laz, and coming to the mic right now, we have Simone. Give it up for Simone. Coming to the mic. Oh!
Yeah! You didn't see me. I didn't see you. It's all good. Yeah. How y'all doing? My name is Simone. I'm a poet. I haven't performed in a while. This is beautiful for y'all, these beautiful black people. I'm going to perform. I ain't been a lot of confused. Not too much. Alright. It's called Look At Me. Look at me. Look into my eyes. Can you tell what is on my mind? Do you feel the energy emitting from the frequency between you and me? It's calling your axis of atoms toward my tutelage. Touches now with excitement exasperate your heart rate. Send shock waves into your chakras. Send skin flinching hair sticking straight up. But I just want you to look at me. Look into my thighs. Can you tell how soft my skin is? How honey brown my secret brown is? That thing back there where you want all the force to go and return as you yearn for my flesh, my flavor to savor on tomorrow's tongue. Touches now would have us in a tide of passion, in a whirlwind of convulsions and perspirations and then salutations. It's really, I just want you to look at me. Look at my energy, my inner being, my aura. See my entirety, my flaws, my draws ain't always on. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they are around your wrist. And sometimes they stuck in your mouth to muffle your moans. Sometimes I just pull it to the side, depending on the vibes and how juicy this coochie is at that point in the night. Touches now would feel wild, feel innate, feel primal, feels like no control over my receptive pleasures, feels like ritual, feels spiritual, and then the poor connection during the day delete our database as if we don't have each other's downloads stored deep in our muscle memory. I want you to. But look at me. Desire the being before you take and pillage my womanhood. Desire me being before you bare, vulnerable, naked, completely stripped of all my insecurities. Before I enter your energetic orbit and organically give you orgasmic energy, I just want you to observe, respect, deserve, and obsess over my flesh, my time, my energy, my creativity before you ever touch me. Otherwise, we won't have more than sex to return to. We won't have the adventure that got us there. We won't have those quiet moments in between that carry us from lust to love. So look at me. Really, really look at me. I've been told that time is a construct, something someone made up to track the sun's movement in the sky. We've always known sun. We've always known each other. Our story begins before time. A manifest that I loved long ago. I didn't know how fluidly I love and flow. From the last lifetime up until now, I recognize you by your smile, your power, your grace, your mercy. You're sweet, strong, and flirty. Your skin is the definition of royalty. On a spectrum all its own, our melanin worth more than gold. You have hit the mother lode. Our love is ancient, it's potent, it's magic. Our connection outlasted the dark ages, turned the light the night you heard me speak. And you recognize the light inside of me. Our chemistry so heavy, the heavens can't help but hope for us. As we open up each other's world and shine the sun in our shadows, so magical. I conjured you back to where you swear you'd never go. With a swipe of a picture, our adventure continued. 6 months went by before you knew I said hi, and I felt connected to you the entire. Our experience on this plane may be hard to understand, which is why the first hug didn't offend, which is why the second hug still holds me. The gravitational force that is us, we together transcending time and be aligned here with one another. Our hearts speak a language our brains can no longer comprehend. Frequently, our frequencies collaborate on this plane, and time mocks us. All of our second suppressions, 11:11, whenever we text and building that emotional connection from all those eons ago, I remember you so. You are the goddess, the godless, handmade for this human experience. This ethereal bliss is what we have to look forward to for the rest of it. I want to know you for the rest of time. Who knows how much time we have left? I've been told that time is a construct, something someone made up to track the sun's movement in the sky. Thing is, when the sun moves, it's still in somebody's sky, right?
Hey. Give it up one more time for the poet. Give it up one more time. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what this space is all about, Black togetherness and what is required for Black togetherness. And if you knew someone who wanted to come tonight, but we're full right now, we do events all the time. Our next event is Black Lives Matter, which is a writing workshop for Black writers on the 17th. And it's a place where we talk about Black poetics and things going on in the community. So Black Lives Matter, 6 to 8 p.m. All of this is on our social media websites. Y'all ready to keep this thing going? Yeah. Absolutely. Where did I put the silence? I don't know. This up.
It might be back.
Did I? It's right. All right. Cool. So we're gonna keep this thing going. On deck we have Hamad. Did I say that? Hamad. On deck we have Hamad. And coming up to the mic right now with the Try and Chill. Welcome to King Laz. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up.
First one on the building. I'm King Lazarus, poet. If you want to follow me on Lazarus has risen _ on Instagram. First one I'm going to do is for my old lady that held me down when I was in the It goes like this ago. Flowing rivers of passion cascade fluently. These waves of consummation race my heart like the rapids. I'm enraptured by your intimacy. So part ways would be a travesty, like the plague, fame, and the drought, because the flower bed from which your passion flows out is my elixir, the soft whispers of pleasure I treasure when I kiss your purrs and roars being conferred. Swinging from your tonsils is my every word, perfect on confluence. I bow in the presence of your queenly influence. Your flowing rivers of passion causes my limbs to contort, my breathing falls short, tremors of ecstasy, shifting my core destiny. I'm twisted away within these rivers of make-believe paradise. Well, that must be nice. I ask myself, as a portrait, have we lost the ability to see what's real? I mean, the whole world saw a brother killed on tape, and yet still the cops of guilt or innocence is up for debate in America. And those who hold power accountable get pepper spray, rubber bullets, and an unsurmountable Capitol Hill to climb. Those who hold power accountable get a Capitol Hill. The American dream is a nightmare. Cop cars everywhere, flashing their lights at black men, all thirsty, throwing back in cells inside the jails made by the pale-faced white supremacists. These capitalist businessmen make my fist clench and my temperament turn militant because I march beside the modern-day slave in that place where hearts are slaves. Yes, I felt the ghastly tremors at night, hearing the whispers of demons coming for my life, trust as I might yet. I will. The American dream is a nightmare where dead bodies stinking dumpsters, scaring our little youngsters with snot and noses, rags for clothing, and broken spirits through and through. Oh, for so many years I boo-hooed, yes, for so many years I wept, having kissed death even before I took my first baby step, because the lady who gave me birth had a womb that was filled with death. Crack baby propaganda of the 80s. I also ask myself, have we lost the ability to feel? I mean, let's be for real. Does the woman sitting on the park bench made of steel, does she even get a second glance unless it's from a thirsty John eager to pay for romance? And for those of us who in the crowd with family members locked down for petty crimes committed to survive in a society that denies them a slice of the pie, that's their whitewash on the inside, by any resemblance of their counterpart, ghetto counterpart. How many of us do have a heart to send a letter and some cheddar so the homeboy can get his hygiene together, knowing that people's plan will and always will be to put us in the fields, but like Nat Turner, some of us aren't going. And that was that piece by King Laz.
time. Give it up one more time. Appreciate that. Absolutely. And that's what this space is exactly about. Community. If you become a member, you get to be in community regularly. Everybody gets a key card, and again, this is a pay what you can cooperative. And yeah, we just do stuff like this and we bring folks together, yeah? So we're gonna keep this going. So a huge part of what Black Table Arts does is we bring folks together to have a conversation. And so what I would love for us to do is just take some time to respond to this question that has to do with the themes that we're talking about tonight, right? And the question is, when was the last time you saw a good example in pop culture of Black togetherness, whatever that means for you? If it's a song, if it's a movie, if it's anything, if it's a series, if it's a TV show, something on social media. When was the last time you saw a good example of Black togetherness? Just think about that. Share with someone near you, and then we'll share out. And I'm gonna pass around the sign-up sheet for folks who may have gotten inspired to perform from what you just heard. So take some time to think about that, and then we will keep this thing going. And I'm just gonna pass around the sign-up sheet, whoever wants to perform. There you go. So when was the last time you saw a good example of Black togetherness in pop culture, whatever that means to you? Get to know someone new. All right, poets. All right, folks. Appreciate the lovely conversations that are happening right now in the spot. And again, you are at Black Table Art. This is Tommy Chill. Appreciate the conversations happening in the spot right now. Welcome. Absolutely, absolutely. Bringing folks together to conversate and hear poetry. So what are some things that came up, folks? The last time that we saw a good example of Black togetherness in pop culture. Just and if we could say our names and.
So my name is Kareen. The last time I feel like I seen togetherness was after the George Floyd riots on North, how people were barbecuing, giving away food, and cleaning up. That was definitely a good thing to see, especially after the riots. Y'all know that was crazy.
Absolutely. Food and getting together, censoring food, through conditions of duress and stress. Absolutely. Absolutely appreciate that, Correct.
So you said culture. So I was thinking Death by Duke, how she gave birth to Tam's baby. I thought that was dope. It was a good way to be accountable for the infant mortality rate amongst Black people.
Yeah. Absolutely. That do the word. Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, my name is Jessica. So, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the Little Nas video that's come out and all the controversy. Something positive about it is I saw a lot of people, a lot of Black folk who came, who stood by him and other queer Black folk to be like, no, homophobia is not something that we tolerate. That's not something we stand for. And it was a really important teachable moment that we saw in pop culture.
Absolutely. Thinking about what is required to make all Black life possible, and how we talk about art in a rigorous way, and how we take the shame out of how we think about Black life and Black artists. Absolutely. Yes.
My name is Simone, and related to the George Floyd death, the rapper, the baby, Lil Baby, he threw his daughter birthday party. So that was really nice to me to see in pop culture that he could be responsible and share that with her, knowing what she went through, an incredible loss to the world.
Absolutely. Black children need birthday parties for sure. To keep that joy alive. Absolutely. Any other examples last time that we saw Black togetherness?
Yeah. I thought it was a small but poignant example. At the end of that movie, Get Out, his boy is the one who comes up in and saves him. Mm-hmm. And the reason why that's huge to me is oftentimes in the Black community, when we hear something that should be kind of like a red flag or SOS, and it's somebody else, we're like, we'll let them deal with their own problems, and then that SOS turns into an absolute complete disaster. Versus in this movie, he travels across the world to take care of his own brother. And that's exactly what we need. Exactly.
Absolutely. Can folks relate to that? Do they have somebody in their life that will travel to make sure that they're okay? Absolutely. So important. Any other responses? Examples of healthy Black togetherness? Yeah.
I think in Little Babies in that one movie, I mean that one video he made called The Bigger Picture. Big Picture. I feel like he, you know what I'm saying, he exposed, you know, how he used to live in a certain trajectory, but how he, you know what I'm saying, how he looking at it from a different perspective. And I feel like with entertainment, you know what I'm saying, an individual who does have the capacity to speak to the truth in a very articulate way can kind of shift culture in a more positive direction.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. Any other examples, healthy examples of Black togetherness, movies and music in our own lives, particularly in Minneapolis, Minnesota, when there's so much going on, you know, when there's so much going on.
I thought Coming to America too was dope. This, everybody coming back together and picking up where they came from with their families and their children, and everybody was in there. It was like we needed that, just to remind us that happiness does occur within our community. We can love each other, and we're not always doom and gloom. We are filled with love, and we are filled with joy, and so they did a great job within our love.
Absolutely. Shout out to Black sequels. Shout out to Black sequels. You know, absolutely.
I don't know how to say her name, but she's from Blackish. She's directing her own show now. And it's about yeah. And she's it's about a Black family, and we see like people with darker skin tones, and we see how you know the mom is usually like a lighter skin, and so she's kind of breaking that barrier, I would say.
Absolutely, 100%. These are the things that remind us that, you know, there's different contexts of Black life, right? There's different contexts, right? There's Black possibility in a variety of conditions. Any other responses before we get back to the poetry? Yeah.
My name is Big Will. American Skin, when you look at it, when they decided they were going to take the police department, they knew it was on the line. They knew that everything was on the line, but they still stood behind them. And then when the older gentleman shot in the movie, he's like, "You got to keep moving. This don't mean anything." So I think that was a good example.
And is that a movie, American Skin?
Yes.
Where American Skin, absolutely. Absolutely. Any other sort of responses, examples of Black togetherness in pop culture? Yeah.
When Nick Cannon show was not about cancer.
Say that again?
When I was not about cancer.
Okay.
The remarks that Nick Cannon gave, Viacom said, all right, DC Live, we want you to be the host of the show on your own record. We gave you all the opportunities in life.
Yeah.
For X amount of dollars, they just threw so much money in it. And he looked and he said, no amount of money is going to allow me to betray you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do folks got folks who are loyal in their lives, right? Absolutely. Brotherhood, for sure. All right, are y'all ready to get back to this poetry open mic one time? All right, absolutely. Got the sign-up sheet coming up. Yeah, where is the sign?
This sign-up sheet is out there. Sign up in the front if you're interested in sign up to do poetry. We can get that going around for you.
Cool, awesome. Cool. I'm gonna go grab it.
Thank you for joining us. This is our first official Chai and Chill. My name is Alfred. I'm the Director of Operations for Black Table Arts. I've been with the organization for 3 years. Appreciate y'all for coming out, showing some love. We got a lot of new exciting things coming for the summertime. We do that. I know it fills up early, so I know some people arrived about an hour early, and just, for next time, just to keep that in mind. And as we expand to the parking lot, using the back as well. So appreciate y'all for stopping by, showing some love. And if you'd like to hang out afterwards, we can give y'all a tour and kind of what Black Table Arts can offer, and just be used as a resource and asset for the community. So appreciate y'all for stopping by.
Yeah, all right. So let's keep this poetry meeting going. On deck, we have Sign C. And coming up to the mic right now with a Chai and Chill, welcome to Jessica. Coming up to the mic one time. Absolutely. All right.
welcome and thank you everybody for coming to share space. And I'm just feel good to be here because I have heard so much about the building and the work, and so it's just wonderful to be here with you all. This piece is entitled Black Mothers. Which side are you on, Lord? Which side are you on? Black mothers, we lay in bed, we cry, and rock ourselves to sleep at night with the lulling hums of our great-grandmothers' rocking chairs that sat on hot, sweltering Mississippi porches. Black mothers, we wipe away our tears with the self-care checklists. Our smiles only deceive those who are not struggling with us. For the ebony, cocoa kiss, caramel, butter pecan, ivory shades know the secret look of history's passcodes, head nods and side eyes, code switching's finest, that acknowledges our own internal battles, adjusting our crowns, pressing on, for victory is not won. Black mothers, we arm ourselves with books and bullets, our knowledge of self-preservation, realizations of liberation. Our children will live without dehumanization and criminalization. Black mothers, we wear shades of resilience after marching and cleaning, cooking, organizing, mending, nurturing, writing, delivering, defending, and shooting. We return to our homes where there is an abundance of love waiting. Black mothers with offspring on the front lines. They are not born from our wombs, yet they belong to us. The descendants of Moses ready to part the sea so that America KKK will let our people go. Black mothers, we call on our ancestors, nourished by their whispers. We breathe, we exhale, we pray, we drift off to sleep with the distant lullaby, soft, soothing sounds of sweet honey, reminding the soul that we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. No, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. Black mothers. My name is Jessica Winnie. You can find my work at Everything I Am Poetry on Facebook. And this other piece is quick. It's called Dancing with Destiny. I'm no more deserving, same as the next queen I'm yearning. The crabs in the barrels, the snakes in the grass, the monkeys on my back. One day I just couldn't take it no more. Prayer became manifesto. Every breath I took though brought me a heartbeat, closer and stronger to faith, full. Then I could finally realize and let all that shit go. Inhale his breath, let my lungs fill with his love until it flowed through my veins and became my essence. Recall the lessons, let the pain lessen. I promised myself on my knees happiness, less perfection. Exhaled all my confessions, counted my blessings, dancing with destiny.
Absolutely. Give it up one more time for the poet. Yeah, freedom fighter poetry.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love about the work that we do at Black Table Arts is that we make space for freedom fighter poetry and art. And one event that we have coming up on the 24th and the 25th is a training called No Future Without Art, where we talk about and think about training Black creatives to think about building community power. And that's going to be a 2-day training, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the 24th and the 25th, and it's free. And we're just going to hang out and talk about how do we community organize through a lens of art. Yeah. So to keep this thing going, and I did skip someone on the sign-up sheet, so we're going to bring that person up. So on deck we have Sign C, and coming to the mic right now, give it up for Hamad. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
How y'all feeling this evening? Yeah. All right, cool. My name is Hamed. I'm an artist in every aspect of the word. I came to this event because I know that there is this place, even though it's 30 minutes from my home, that celebrates the Black cooperation as well as art. And as an artist, it would make sense to come here. The list was there. I said, what do you know? I have a poem that I've never performed in front of anybody other than my friends. And there's no song that his lyrics go to. Because I've always felt that poetry isn't just made, it's a byproduct of your heart detoxing itself. And there are some memories that your heart holds dramatically better than your brain. So here's a song that I made that is basically a poem, which talks about experiences that I'm over, but they're just lingering as part of it. So here it goes. No, 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 baby, yes, yes, yes. It ain't real, but I still feel it in my chest, chest, chest. And I confess, dreaming about that body like the next best sex. No, 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 baby, yes, yes, yes. It ain't real, but I still feel it in my chest, chest, chest. And I confess, dreaming about that body like the next best sex. Sometimes I wish that I could just dream forever. The girl of my desire, you haunt me whenever. You're roaming through my mind, it seems like it's heaven. To a dormant place in my heart, even though my mind knows better than to bring up memories of Jackson had such a nasty taste. Because in reality, there was no we in the first place. Smiling back at me to look at happiness on your face. A happiness that we can never share, but I can't say. I try not to think about it daily. And thankfully, all my previous passions are fading. But when it's time to dream, damn, she's right there waiting. A constant reminder of what I can never achieve and drive me crazy. My dream, baby, is prayer. How even though you close at home, chilling way out of state, sleep puts us in a state for our souls to a state. Possibly live out fantasies where you and me can be soulmates. But wait, sometimes I like to believe back to a time when we had a chemistry. Late nights on the phone talking till we fell asleep. 10 years later and we barely even speak. Damn. Sometimes I want to believe, but I'm dreaming about her and she's dreaming about me. Even though I know it's just a childish fantasy, when I'm dreaming about you, is you dreaming about me? Damn. Is you dreaming about me? Or is you dreaming about me? Because even though I know it was just a childish fantasy, when I'm dreaming about her, you dreaming about me? So,
Read it one more time. Absolutely. Shout out to Poetry with the Melodies. Speaking of melodies, we have a recording studio. Our recording studio is going to be open for folks who maybe MCs, folks who maybe singers, and our members get a discount. So be on the lookout for that. Because it's gonna be a pretty dope space to be in. Word. Cool. How y'all doing? Y'all good? Yeah. Dope. So we're gonna have one more poet up, and then we're gonna take like a 5-minute break. We do have restrooms. There's one straight back there to the right, and there's one right around the corner before you get to the recording studio. Cool. So we have a poet, and then we're gonna get into a little break. So could y'all give a chai and chill welcome to Sign C? Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. Coming to the mic, coming to the mic.
Hi, y'all. Okay, you with your poems of Black mothers. I just want to know like how many people on you like here have kids who are on the front lines. Like, can I just see a show of hands if anybody has like nephews, nieces, cousins? Nobody. Okay, no. Family. Yeah. I just want to let you know that I have their back because they have mine because we are out here. I work and a lot with community, but I also am part of a collective, a co-op collective. That's just a bunch of brown and black youth who all live together and are trying to make a sustainable future for brown and black bodies and getting land back and all that stuff. Yeah, thank you. And so recently, at the end of the summer, I realized how much burnout there was because we were all just putting in so much work. And we were all there like all night long. And so I took a moment to go through old poetry and find some stuff that had to do with like taking care of stuff. So that's fine. I want to fill the space like water, seeping into every crack, becoming buoyancy for all who may want to enter. The problem is I have not been moving with rooted intentions. I've been distracted with all my internal fuss, the noise of things not allowed to be settled, the aching losses I'm not sure I can fully accept, the ones I must force down into, not into completion, but into submission. I long for a love that I fear will never come, nor I will never have again. I want the streets to be safe. I want my brother back. I want your brother back. I want her sister back. But I want has led me to lose sight of what it is I need. I need to drink some more damn water. I need to practice my practice. I need to love me. I need to practice my ABCs. My ABCs. Achieve, accomplish, and archive. Build, bury, and be loved. Conquer, collaborate, and claim. Dare to disconnect and then discover. Encourage, embrace, and empower. Fill, fix, and function. Generate, gather, and give. I must remember to heighten, help, and try my best not to fucking hate. All while never forgetting to influence, interact, and illuminate. I've already joined the journey for justice. Know to kill with kindness. Love, live, and laugh. Maneuver, manipulate, and maintain. Need, navigate, and negotiate. Try to stay open, observant, and organized. Push, pull, and sometimes plead. Quietly quote and question. Rise, rationalize, and then repeat. Solve, salvage, and sacrifice. Take time to teach, utilize, understand, and unwind. View the voids and then vocalize. Worry, watch, but never waste. Exhale, expand, exist, and I won't yap, yield, or yell while I'm zooming in and out of life's many zones.
All right. Okay, poet.
Self-care. Absolutely, self-care. That reminds me of a quote by one of my favorite writers, Tony K. Bombara, who our conference room is named after. And she says, not all speed is movement. To not assume that just because you're moving quickly, you're building power, but to be grounded and to be rooted and to breathe and to drink water, eat breakfast and these things, right? All right, y'all. So we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Feel free to get some chai. Feel free to stretch. We have restrooms. And we'll be back in 5 minutes to keep this poetry reading going.
We are wrapped around the building.
Can I see where I got on my list?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, I can't go by my state.
Oh, okay.
Check it out.
Oh, no, okay.
Hey, can I bring up my iPad, sir? Can you see me bring out the mic?
Wrapped around the building, that's success. All outside, check it out.
Oh,
On a
yeah.
5-minute break. What's your name?
Hey.
Are you presenting tonight?
Yes, I am.
What is the inspiration of the piece that you're presenting?
Just everything going around in the world today. It's a lot going on, so I just want to speak on it. It's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of hurt, damaged people out there, and it's just a lot to speak on.
Thank you. We're all on the other side of the building. Hey, anybody over here performing tonight?
No performer.
You performing? What's your name?
Zach.
Zach, tell me what are your piece about tonight?
Probably just Black empowerment and resilience.
Black empowerment and resilience?
Yup.
Does it have anything at all to do with what's happening in the world right now?
Oh yeah, just going against the misconception of Black men and just building up our confidence as who we are. So my poem will say everything. I don't want to say too much right now, so my poem will say everything.
You don't want to give it away?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Queen, let's pass the mic over to Queen.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Jasmine.
Jasmine, are you performing tonight?
I am. It's a last minute decision though.
Okay, that's all right. Sometimes those last minute decisions be the best decisions.
Yep.
And what is the piece that you're performing tonight? Just tell me the backstory behind it, if you may.
My focus is definitely going to be on depression and like mental health.
Okay.
That's what I typically write about because it allows me to release a lot of those emotions. So it's going to be a very vulnerable piece, but I'm excited and I hope that others can connect with it.
Wonderful. And you guys know this is being streamed live on News on Purpose, YouTube page, Facebook, and on Black Table Arts, okay?
Yep.
Let your people know about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we got some more folks over here in the cut. Are you performing tonight?
No, ma'am.
Hammett, you performed tonight. You performed a song.
Yeah. Excuse me. I did a little something.
Tell me about the inspiration of the piece that you performed.
Well, that piece was probably about 12 years old. I remember it clearly because, again, like I was saying, oftentimes the poem makes themselves as a byproduct of just getting over the emotions that we feel. And, I opened up a page and the words put themselves down there, and it felt right.
Good. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Great job. You did it. All right, let's go over here. It's so packed tonight. We got people all on every end of the building. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. We got people in every space. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, we're just doing a maze through. We're gonna do a maze through. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's a packed house. It's a packed house. It's a packed house. Hey. We do not own rights to this music. Hello, hello, hello. How y'all feeling back here? Feeling good. You feeling all right? Are you liking what you're hearing? Yeah. Are you guys liking what you're hearing? Yeah. You feeling all right?
All right, y'all, about 5 more minutes, we're gonna bring it back, Relationships are the greatest wealth. The problem is you in relationships where you feel so establishment, so much so you put names yourself out. That's a piece of my concentration. But the friend we on some steps like you were saying. You got the medicine on my leg, you told me to explain it. But the irritation into the actualization of it. You know, say to my life to the family, let's talk. One of my partners clapping his yelling, blasting his selfie. Realizing that the world is falling. It was so Gucci, it's the same Gucci in different songs. You know, he introduced me to Lucy so we can walk. He wiped me down like Lucy and used me to whip the wrong. Proof they got integrity, life to pass it back to those that lack the necessities of life. The recipe for equity and integrity, hyping your destiny. No be tied to the destiny advice. That has no spirit, man. Stop getting frustrations. Stop giving CPR to their situations. Some people don't go for it because they too impatient. I went from rapping in the car to rapping with the beat. Tracy G, I audaciously heard every beat that they gathered on the plate for me. So they fantasy how the spirit is racing. They wake up, I get to see all the keys like Freemason. Taste and see. Drinking, forward, that follow the torch you stored inside my pen. I'm from release up to a shore that might convince them. That healing might just happen for that year. You can't stop at the beach, you keep us back. And I took you at that point, I knew you were keeping me so hard, and it always makes me mad. So I think keep on so smart, I think that they won't be so DJ School, be proud. That's how you do it.
I just got here. I like fashion and
If it's beef, you keep your mind like
Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are just tuning in, this is Chai and Chill with Black Table Arts. We are here at 3737 Minnehaha Avenue, South Minneapolis. Come on down. It's a poetry slam, and the house is packed. We got people outside. We got people on the whole area. It is packed. It is a vibe. Come on down.
You ready to bring them back in? I'll look at them from outside.
All right, poets, we're gonna bring it back. How y'all doing? We're gonna bring it back to folks to get settled. We're gonna bring this poetry reading back. There's some more language. hear some more Black thought on Black togetherness. Did y'all enjoy the chai? The chai's good? Appreciate that. It's very journey trying to put that coffee machine working. So I'm glad you got it working. You're gonna bring it back. You're gonna bring it back. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Appreciate y'all being here. We're gonna bring the sign-up sheet back because I don't have it, so it's gonna make its way up to the back of the front. Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate y'all being here. Quick question. Who are some Black artists or some Black musicians folks should check out? People that we're listening to. Like if we were gonna make a 2021 Black playlist, who would y'all want on that playlist? Ashley DeBose, local. Absolutely. Ashley DeBose just came out with a new song. Can go back there? Say that again? All right. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Toby. Absolutely. We're just playing Toby.
Vivian.
Say that one more time?
Vivian.
Absolutely. Local?
Oh, local?
No, I'm just saying. I thought they were local.
No. You say somebody local?
No, I just thought the person that you said. It's gonna be thinking, boom, gonna go right there. Louis Blaze, local, absolutely. Her? Absolutely. Who said her? Absolutely. They don't have to be local. I just want to shout out local. Janelle Monáe, absolutely. I hope y'all taking notes. Absolutely.
Count your dogs.
Say
Count your dogs.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna keep this thing going. Justice with the sign-up sheet. Hey, Chitara, can you see what the sign-up sheet is?
I got you.
Appreciate that. Who else would be on a Black 2021 playlist? Who else? You heard some local artists? Who? Fabio French. What genre of music? Local. Okay. Burna Boy, absolutely. Just won a Grammy, I think. Who? Ciroc. Is that the name of the artist? All right. Ciroc. Absolutely. All right. Absolutely. Anyone else? Black music playlist for this year. Who do we want on it? Who? Blondell. I'm getting older, y'all. I don't know. All right.
You got seats in the front?
Yeah, we have a few seats in the front. All right, y'all ready to keep this thing going? Absolutely. So on deck, we have, and I don't want to mispronounce this, L-I-I-K. L-I-I-K. Leak. All right. On deck, we have Leak. Right now, can y'all give it up for Deep Roots? Coming to the mic. Give it up.
Hello, everyone. Oh, okay, there we go. Hi, my name is Deep Roots. I haven't done a lot of poetry, so this is here I am. So, a couple poems I wanted to share. One, mental health isn't really talked about a lot. It's really stigmatized. And this is, I've had my own mental health struggles over the years. And this poem comes from that. In fact, I was having mental health crisis breakdown. And then in the middle of doing dishes, I was like, oh, I got some inspiration. I need to write this down. So it's short and simple. So here we go. I had a bad thought about pushing them away. But that's okay because I'm doing the dishes. I have terrible thoughts and it's difficult today. But that's okay because I'm doing the dishes. My mind has pulled me every which way, but that's okay because I'm doing the dishes. I cried and I prayed that it would all just go away. But it's okay because I'm doing the dishes. But I feel a tad bit better because at least I can say I did the dishes. So Black Lives Matter, right? Yep. I wrote this poem a couple weeks ago during Black Lives. I'm talking to you right now. During Black Lives Matter, and he knows way too much of me. I'm always here doing work. This is such a cool space to be in, to do work, to like meet people. So if you haven't become a member yet, I strongly encourage you to do that. So this is a poem I wrote, and it kind of highlights like the difficulties of like, you know, growing up with in like a multiracial family and, you know, that experience. So I ponder, what does it mean to have lived a life veiled in the American flag? It's not like it used to be. People were kinder then, she says, notably absent of sarcasm. From small town Iowa, 1950s, and Leave It to Beaver and Andy Griffith, Black people do not exist in that utopia. You know, back then people like me were being hanged. Like a hot pan, the conversation was dropped. Perhaps the heat was too much. The burning away of fanciful delusions averted. My grandmother was never one for conflict. To have roots in cornfields and Sunday church, but never to belong. I see through the veil and I tear it to tatters. And then the last thing I want to share, so everyone here I'm sure has heard the song Wade in the Water. Well, something about me, I do a lot of work around environmental justice work. There's a pipeline they're trying to build through the state called Line 3, and there's a lot of things about it, but the big thing that everyone here should care about is that if it crosses through the Mississippi and it spills like all pipelines do, that's millions of people's drinking water being compromised. So Indigenous people are holding it down on the front lines, so you know, check out the circle. But I was really active in fighting the Dakota Access Pipeline, and this song and the lyrics I rewrote to it comes out of that struggle. If people feel free to join in, feel free to clap as you feel moved to do. So I'm gonna sing. Wade in the water, wade in the water, wade in the water. Protectors gonna defend the waters. See them pipelines coming round. Protectors gonna defend the waters. We're turning their plans upside down. Protectors gonna defend the waters. The water's sacred like me and you. Protectors gonna defend the waters. And those who pollute the water are dead fools. Protectors gonna defend the waters. I said wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Protectors gonna defend the waters. I said protectors gonna defend the waters.
We absolutely need to talk about land and water. These are very important things. Absolutely appreciate that spiritual, for sure. All right, y'all, we're gonna keep this thing going. On deck, we have Jasmine, and coming up to the mic right now, we have Lee. Give it up. Coming to the mic.
Hi, everybody. My name is Leak. It's LIIK. It stands for Likely Integrating Internal Knowledge. And that's just because that's what I do in my music. I'm a rapper, musician, play instruments, whatnot, whatever. But today I'm going to do poetry. Rap is rhythm and poetry at the end of the day. So, no beat, I'm still rapping. All right. Yeah, that being said, this is track untitled number 47. Yeah. Goddamn, my feelings hurt. I look in the mirror like, goddamn, these feelings work. These girls so evil, they so bogus, they so sinister. I pour my heart out, then I get hit with them finishers like, ugh, nigga. They like to break my heart and ask me. Like, why you asking, girl, I'm broken, girl, I'm shook. Gonna rip that bandage off, you got me open, now I'm booked. Try to slightly hand it off, then go and close it. How I look, like, man. All these niggas want a second base. I just want to get a second date. In my mind, you'll never be second place. Like, I got this crush on you and started built and escalate. I really like you, girl. You won't like me back if I can't evade. So, goddamn, my feelings hurt. I look in the mirror now like, goddamn, these feelings work. In retrospect, see, my past feelings were too sinister. Can't blame these women while you getting hit with finishers like Bob Bean. When them insecurities as tall as Yao Ming. Really losing if you're sitting back and counting the L's you take, acting like you swimming, but you drowning. Amount of people fake the women be astounding, like, man. Niggas really need to quit pretending, cause them lies just do not work. When you by yourself, you should be ascending, but you drown in likes and thirst and faking it, so you preach your difference. Need a hill right quick for you speak to women. You might need a minute, but yeah. All right. So, hey, that's that one. And then this is untitled number 51. And that'll be my last one that I share with you guys tonight. But it goes like, out of my morning stroll, avoiding eye contact, cause that shit be too painful. Strangers' gaze be disdainful. Hungry yet so distasteful. Hands outstretched but don't say thank you. Man, fuck you. No, wait, real shit, man, fuck you. Tell me what you gonna do when you reap what you sow, when your soul and your goals ain't humble. Tell me what you gonna do when you fight, when you up late at night, feel like nobody loves you. Put my pride and my woes in a duffel. I feel pain in my soul and my muscle. I can't quit, can't fold, can't buckle. From Midwest, we'll be cold and we hustle, but please tell me, what's the point of hurting when you don't learn from it? What's the point of working when you don't earn from it? That feel close and it touch so certain, so backward, roll my blood, slow burn it out. Inhale, cause we roll enough sometimes to get well. Great pain, what greatest intels, you fail to plan, but you plan for big fails. People wanna talk shit and they wanna block lists, but they wanna ride the wave from the boat for the ship sail. Nowadays, I'm just going in my lane, that motherfucking fishtail. Fake shit, ain't no time for that. Hate statements, only time for rap. Only go. And I go clock out, get home locked in all day, so I'm working till my mind is tired. Yeah. I just get so charged with energy when I'm performing. It's been over a year since I performed, so I appreciate y'all coming out and showing y'all like bodies and y'all energy and all. But yeah, my name is Leak. You can find me on Instagram at MPLS Public Full, all together, no space, no cap. Like Minnehaha Public Schools, but full. All right.
With the message. You know, appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, y'all ready to keep this thing going? Cool. So on deck, we have Jeremiah. And coming to the mic right now, we have Jasmine. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Coming to the mic.
Hey everyone. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm really nervous.
You're doing great.
Being locked up in the house for like over a year. Yeah. Alright. So my piece is gonna be about mental health. It's something that I deal with all the time, as you can see. But this is a very vulnerable piece to me, so thank you for listening. There was a point in time I hoped to find myself again, in the brighter light of a warmer space. My eyes met my feet where I stood still as old trembles shook away. For so many years I've been shaken but never shook. It's been long since I've accepted it, but I was born amongst turbulence. I had to learn to create peace, to dream of a true love, a sense of self, a place of passion, and from what idea?
Many moments of happiness exist in a form of my imagination. I guess that's my power though, right? But in time of weakness, how do you think I exist in my space of my brain, of my body amongst others, when things are full of fear, of pain, and against my resistance? When dreams are no longer dreams but nightmares, survived on a bit of hope. My frustration for this part of life, I cope with perfume and pray that the roses permeate my pain. I've lived many days sick in search of stillness and comfort and have learned sometimes there's nothing to do the trick. The noise, the movement, it's a battle every time. But sometimes it's nothing that can do the trick. Are you hoping I tell you I found it, the completion to my happy tale? Well, many moments of happiness exist in a form of my imagination. But it's been long since I've accepted it. I was born amongst turbulence. All right, I have 2 short pieces to share. I'm honestly only up here because I feel like my anxiety has gone up since COVID, just like social isolation, and I'm taking the steps to step out of it. So this is a really short and sweet one. Sometimes I'm just like in my house and then I have like a random thought and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write this. Incessant, obsessive, neurotic, and worried. They say a loss of mind is insanity. They stigmatize the loss of a mind, but it's the best thing to lose. Peace doesn't like clutter or chaos. Peace needs silence to survive. If a loss of mind is discouraged, but a peace of mind is betrayed, I would choose insanity. And this is my last one. I've cut the cord to my emotions before to spare myself just to never see the sun. Could it be that sometimes I'm placed in the intensity of sadness for good purpose? If days never fell down or became hard, would I desire to live a life of void? Could pain be a gift because it's physically intense and pulls us deeper into our bodies? Would I even be real if I couldn't feel? Would my eyes speak to my brain still? I'm only alone when I feel no one knows, so maybe the spark of connection is raised in raw expression. Have you ever felt done? Have you ever been numb? Have you ever noticed it's easier to hate to escape than to exist or to love? I try to humble myself when I resist sadness. For who am I to believe I'm exempt from the dualities of life when there is no one without the other? Beauty blooms from pain, triumph from tribulation, movement from stillness. Thank you guys.
Give it up, give it up, give it up. Absolutely. You know, shout out to folks being nervous, but and then getting through the poem and like community holding them up. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, y'all, we're gonna keep this thing going, keep this thing moving. On deck, we have Julius coming up to the mic right now. We have Jeremiah. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
How we doing? How we doing? Good. It's a long time since I've been on stage, so we're gonna kind of work into it. Got a couple pieces. Love me some Langston Hughes. So I'm gonna start this off with a Who Am I? Got 2 Who Am I's that I've put into one piece. It goes like this. Incinerated, scorching these walls like a volcanic eruption. The only way to interpret the infernal's wrath is the annihilation. Casted at this world like I'm a shooting star. 100,000 miles per hour deciphers the circumference of my devastation. Mental deception. My impact can't be decided by humans. My longitude plus my latitude equals the magnitude of my explosion. The shock waves help stimulate life on this planet. And in my wake, I leave dust and debris. Can you imagine? I become fragments. I'm the opposite of immaculate. I leave destruction. I'm just having fun with the fluctuation of these words. Before I enter your atmosphere, who am I? Anybody? I'm a meteor. Yo, from the third person view, I'm a spit. In this bucket while I chew on this tip of wheat. In the country, I have an accent to my beat. A formula of harmony is what I speak. I see. I comment at a low altitude. I'll call my wife's name out as I get knocked to the ground out of my rocking chair by a shock wave of energy flowing through the air. The climate changing, creating synchronized replica tornadoes. I stab stakes in the ground as I crawl to my cellar. I'll call my wife's name out louder. All I can hear through the air is a whisper. All I can see through the debris is a lantern. I'm 73 and I have 2 replaced knees. Before I save my wife, I wake up from this. Who am I? Anybody? I'm a journey. It's first piece. Second piece, I can say Cloud of Peace comes at the end of the poem. It goes like this. My pen is my best friend. The paper never deserves to be approached with an eraser. Locked in the chambers of memories complex, vortex in the flesh. Smoke rises in the process of my pen being resurrected. Clouds cover the moon, then the sky becomes naked. An avalanche freezes in the process of rolling down a mountain. A spider print 5 feet 11 inches in the area of a volcanic eruption is created underground. My pain rises from beneath the rocks. All clocks stop, time sits still. In the physical form I appear, changing the climate, putting density in the air. I'm in my human state, but my reflection in the mirror is a type of a catastrophic disaster, transpired by positive energy. Nobody could walk in these shoes like me. From the souls I walk in to the highest peak of hair on my head, blessed with this gift, touched by angels from the heavens. Speaking about past-related incidents, liquefying the mic, igniting the scene. They say, if you ask, believe, then you will receive. Years of dedication, the struggle, no complaints. I'm breaking free from these restraints. It really matters what you proclaim to the universe. If you read verses out of your Bible, believe in yourself. Visualize the picture before you put together the puzzle. I'm the king on this chessboard. I'm number one. Just like you are when it comes to your status. I don't need a plaque, I know this. My pain helps resurrect poetry in Minneapolis. I am the poem called Chain Reaction.
All right.
I got you guys. Thank you.
Give it up for the poet. Woo, absolutely. Appreciate that. And once again, you're at the Black Table Arts Cooperative. We do events all the time. Our next event is Black Lives Matter on the 17th. Currently, we have 67 members. And everyone gets a key card and you just beep yourself in. So you get connected to a community, yeah? And so what I would love for us to do is to have another conversation thinking about this theme of Black togetherness. So the first one was thinking about an example of Black togetherness in pop culture. I want us to think about what gets in the way of Black togetherness, of Black people making contact, whatever that means to you. What gets in the way of Black togetherness? Think about that. Talk to someone near you, and then we'll share. Yeah, what gets in the way of Black togetherness? Whatever comes up. Alright, poets. Alright, poets. We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back. Some lovely conversations going on. What gets in the way of black together? Absolutely. We're gonna bring it back.
As we're coming back, hey, this is Main Street Live. So if you want to let people know, like your friends and family that's not here to watch you, you can just share it with them onto your platform. It's on the Black Table Arts Facebook page. It's also on YouTube as well under News on Purpose.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, poets. What are some themes, some responses, some thoughts that came up when we thought about the things that get in the way of Black togetherness? I'm gonna go to Leap right there.
Ego.
Ego. Say more about that.
In short, either I'm too good to help you out, or I'm too good to get help from you. It's just blocking blessings both ways.
Absolutely, blocking blessings both ways. Yeah, you go right.
The lateral horizontal oppression,
Say more about that.
like kind of with the ego, but more of I'm not like you, or you grew up different than me, or light skin versus dark skin, those kind of things.
Absolutely, we need intersectionality, right? To think about the ways we are interconnected. Yeah.
The fear of being vulnerable.
Yeah. Say more about that.
So what I mean by that is, with our community, we have this persona of keeping up with the Joneses. So you don't want to come off as being flawed, so that you're viewed differently. But in the spirit of being vulnerable, you actually show people that, hey, I go through things too. You go through things. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what the loop is this or this is. How I dealt with it. Actually, this situation is helpful to you, but we're so busy trying to appear perfect all the time that really gets in the way.
Absolutely. 100%. And I've been saying this word a lot. That y'all are reminding me of grace. Grace, the withholding of judgment, right? So we can get to that vulnerability. So we can see the ways we are interconnected, right? So we don't judge each other while we're doing this work. Absolutely. Response to you.
Yeah, Lazarus. I think one of the biggest things, I know I live over north over there off James and Broadway, and I know one of the biggest things that I see that holds brothers from coming together is trauma. You know, they say 98% of the prison population is trauma-based. So when you've been in a situation to where the ones closest to you have hurt you, damaged you, and left you devastated, when you see your brother, a lot of times it be fear. You know what I'm saying? The mask looks aggressive, it looks scary, but deep down inside, there's a little boy or a little girl that's yearning to be comforted that never received love, so they don't even know how to respond to love.
Yeah. Absolutely. Vulnerability and trauma. Absolutely. And can we share our names? Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry. To build on Lazarus, what I was saying, absolutely. Trauma, and then that generation on top of that.
Yeah.
So if your generation had trauma because, they couldn't build their relationships literally, it's going to be passed on to you unless you were able to heal that.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely believe that it's a trauma.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And how do we heal trauma?
Oh.
How do we heal trauma?
You got time?
Feel your divine masculine. Feel it.
This is kind of my name's Daniel. It's kind of like a personal thing. I think probably my only generation might feel it, but there's kind of a stigma between kids and Black parents that I think isn't really spoken about a lot, and that can kind of, when you're in a household with maybe just a single mother or a single father, there are things that should be talked about but can be, and lack of being able to express yourself really hinders Black boys and girls, I would say.
Absolutely. And to think about how much trauma comes about just from being stressed out in the hood.
It's a lot.
Like, just that, right? Exactly, that, like, psychic. Absolutely, yeah.
I just wanted to continue elaborating on the trauma part because I feel like it's also continuing these cycles because these cycles have been regenerated over and over and over, and it takes all working with self obviously, but using that within your community because even the way that I talk, people will box me into a label or how you dress, and that goes for anybody. But it's if you think about where the whole notion of oh, you talk white comes from, it's white people were the only ones who were educated at some point. It's not because of their skin tone, it's because of the level of education that they had. So to kind of continue telling the story as oh, this is associated with whiteness is false. It's a whole different narrative. And I feel when we're amongst our own people, we use these feelings of trauma and these ideas and these stereotypes against each other. And that's the whole cycle. So I just want to elaborate.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. And to think about how much of that shame comes from assuming we're going to be thrown away. Right? But to know that you're not going to be thrown away in spaces of Black togetherness is so empowering,
Just to take it back off, I can't remember what you said about childhood. So I feel like one of our main generational curses is not acknowledging children's feelings. And so we don't even know that we're experiencing trauma because we haven't even acknowledged it as trauma.
Absolutely.
My name is Big Will, but being prepared for success. So we get into these situations where we're trying to change a system that's broken. So when Lazarus talks about the correctional system, we talk about this trial that we're dealing with. These systems are working the way they were meant to be. So we're continuing to try to come to these tables and be a part of these tables instead of just taking over the whole damn table. That's the problem. We continue to try to conform to this different way of being that we're not comfortable with. So we're prepared when we go into it. So we refuse to take anything but this. We continue to compromise. So that's a big problem.
Absolutely. So how do we build Black institutions on our own terms? Right? Absolutely. I'm gonna go right here.
Simone, homophobia is still rampant in the Black community. I don't understand it. It's the privacy of your own space, what you do, does not affect the next person. And so I feel like homophobia as a form of distance ourselves from people who appear too gay or appear different from us. And it doesn't make any sense because most thought leaders, most movement leaders were gay. Every woman that is but started Black Lives Matter is a gay woman. And so I'm proud to be gay. I'm proud to be a gay woman. And I think that But like people distancing themselves from what gayness is or what it means to the Black community is why we can't just come together and put our thoughts together and truly move as one.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Absolutely. Any other thoughts? Things I was thinking about? Move right over.
Okay, my last comment is money, because I feel like something is beautiful, but it can also be toxic because we're really big into our appearances. We're really big on like how people come off, you know, if they have their homes together, all that stuff. Like I even know for my own mom, she's not gonna let you see her struggling. She's gonna make sure that it looks like it's together. And money is one of the biggest issues because I realized that since we're caught in the cycle of capitalism and stuff like that, that we're put into positions where we're constantly fighting and trying to get over each other for the next dollar. And it's pushed in media, it's pushed in the industry, it's pushed amongst peers. And I just feel like when it comes to our roots, we've always been the type of people where we've always catered to our family first before ourselves. And I feel like that's definitely changed now. It's kind of like, no, you're paying for your food, I'm paying for my food. You don't got those Jordans on your phone. So it's just like, I think money, the conversation around money, and like, what's the value of it? Is it more valuable than family? Is it more valuable than connections? I feel like that needs to be talked about.
Absolutely, there's so much trauma around money and shame and humiliation, right? Particularly for Black children in schools, right? 100% will go right.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that, I always have the urge pulling myself, I'm sorry, I'm not one of those, but, I think that, no, it's okay. I would say one of the biggest things is like colorism, specifically because, I'm not from Minneapolis, I'm from like a very small white town, and coming here, I like realized like people had this predispositions about me, like I like kind of had it all, like I thought this some type of way about the way that I am in general, and like I get that, like in general, like Black women, we hold a lot of insecurity, and like with Black women and Black men too, like that are suppressed, and that's important to acknowledge and realize, but it's hard when you have like the lighter that you get, the more privilege that you have, and like it's not even like it's just like the way that it is. So I think that it's important to acknowledge that, but I think that it's that does separate us. In Minneapolis, I guess from what I've experienced, I realize that it's like something that separates us from each other, like having these walls that we put up, like don't want to like be friends with other Black women or whatever, like because we're just like, oh, like I think that you're better than me or whatever. It's tough out there, but I hope that we all are here for each other and we realize we're all beautiful and we have different experiences completely. She's just here like, but yes, that's something that I think that is a big barrier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think about that a lot. Like I think about what are the ways in which differences can be points of solidarity, but the reckoning that's required for that, and that's not easy reckoning, because we're talking about our personal vulnerable experiences. So it's like, how do we talk about intersectionality? How do we talk about these things where within the Black community we have different levels of privilege, but we can talk openly about that and also build solidarity and show up for each other, right?
I think it's important, like if you are lighter skin, I think that it's important for you to use that like privilege in a good way, like to your best advantage, to talk about and like promote or be advocates for people that are darker than you. And that's very
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. I'm gonna go right in.
So, I'm not trying to age myself or anything, but I'm probably old enough to be most people's mother in here. I'm almost 50, but with that being said, we have lost our sense of community and it takes a village concept. I was growing up, I could be a mile away from home and I got my ass whooped there and by the time I get there. Because everybody took care of everybody's children and it wasn't the confrontation like, oh, why are you talking to the kids? Oh, thank you for letting me know I'll address this. So your kids automatically knew to keep themselves in order because no matter where you are, somebody knew your parents and was going to deal with it and your parents were going to find out about it. But also on the same token, we have to be painfully aware everybody is not given access to the same opportunity that you may have. So, for instance, there are hundreds of dope men I've run across in my last few decades. Some of those guys were never taught any other way to make a living because that's the environment they grew up in. But I will sit and talk to them like, hey, don't you know you already a businessman? If you take the time to run an illegal business, you can run a legal business. Take that money and you're going to put yourself in trade school, go get you a plumbing certification, go get you a journeyman certification to be an electrician. And I saw some of these guys years later making six figures doing it legally because I took the time to educate them on other documents that were there. Instead of us turning the blind eye and deaf ear, start treating people as human and try to understand where they're coming from and enlighten them. Don't look down and turn your nose up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Black mentorship, for sure. I'm going to go right here now.
I would say foundation as far as, excuse me, I don't want to work the shit off the walls, but treating our Black women better. And I say that because foundation, when it comes down to how the woman reacts in the household, the woman does the majority of things with the kids, blah, blah, blah. Women are hurt. Women are, it's hard to get a woman because, and you got women choosing women now because guys aren't, I'm sorry, it's the truth though. Guys aren't at that respect level that we were raised to be on, you know? And so you dismantle something, if you break a vase, you never put it back together the same as it was before it was broken. But at the same time, putting that effort in it and showing the Black women how much we appreciate them can help bring the community back together.
I got to piggyback off of that. Make a light bulb go on. Us Black mothers also have to stop coddling our boys and then being extra hard on our daughters. They're supposed to be the head of the household, so it's our responsibility to teach them how to do that. If we're constantly picking up the pieces and dusting them off and helping them through everything instead of teaching them how to do it on their own, we're being more of a harm than help to them.
Do folks have any other responses to the? Okay.
So with me,
yeah.
Okay. One thing is I'm gonna say to tie it in is loving yourself.
Absolutely.
Loving yourself is the basis of why sometimes a community cannot, whatever, it doesn't matter, religion, sex, whatever, loving who you are because you won't accept anything less than that. So that is the best thing. You know what? If you want to lift yourself up, you're going to find people who also lift you up. And we all rise together. So it doesn't matter who you are. That is the best bet to build community is loving yourself inside and out.
Appreciate it.
When you talk about foundation, one of the things is knowing our history. The Black woman is the first superhero ever. You don't know that because you don't read all the stuff that's coming out now about different things. People don't even know about Oklahoma. People don't know anything because it's not taught in school. So if you don't have an opportunity to go learn for yourself, which a lot of people in correctional facilities do because they have time, but we should be doing that every single day. We should be teaching about finances and all that stuff. But we're not doing any of that. We're just accepting what's given to us. This is enough. So that's part of the problem, not even on our own damn history.
Absolutely, and we need that insight, and we need to be engaged with our history. But we need community care while we're doing that, right? Because folks could do a lot of research into insight and history, and without community care, you can get isolated. And it is heavy to read about the various violences without having a community around you, yeah? So that's what I'm gonna go right here. Oh, go right there.
I feel like another hurdle is like the balance of masculine and feminine energy. We don't allow our men to have feminine traits. Yeah. Like it's okay for your man to cry. It's okay for him to be angry. It's okay to let him feel something because if you're not expressing how you feel, it comes out in different ways and it's not always positive. So I think the ability to acknowledge the men's pain.
Absolutely. Black feminism, intersectionality, for sure. Any other comments, things that get in the way of Black togetherness before we bring it back? Yeah, I'm gonna go right there.
Sense of pride.
Say that one more time.
We tend to gravitate towards things that we are blessed with in terms of opportunities that we lose sight of being humble.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of that plays into separation of Black people coming together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is that
Yeah, I think there's one more thing, helping each other.
Yeah.
In the Black community, there's a sense of, oh, how did you get there? Oh, there's God. No. Like, there's no, like, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Mutual aid, cooperation, Black cooperation. That's always been the catalyst for Black development, right? Black cooperation. This is how we cooperate. All right, y'all. Are y'all ready to get back to this poetry reading? We got a few more poetry, y'all. On deck, we have Laura, and coming to the mic right now, we have Zach. Give it up for Zach. Zach. Did we not do Julius? No. Okay, my fault. On deck, we have Zach. Coming to the mic, we have Julius. Appreciate it, y'all.
Greetings, everybody. So first, I just want to honor this space. I'm from out of town, and y'all really need to know how special this is. I'm from Baltimore City. It's hard for us to connect like this, and if you guys don't realize how special this space is, you need to cultivate this, grow this, because this is a healing. So I honor this. And the second thing, the world is looking at Minnesota, and y'all can literally heal the world. So y'all really have a special calling. I also want to honor the elders in the room. So I changed my whole bit just because, so I was raised on poetry, Shihan. So I'm forget what I was going to do. I'm going to bless the collective space, and I'm going to do two pieces ode to Shahan. First one, you guys heard of Flashy Words by Shihan? Okay, so every time I raise my hand, you guys say what? Okay, flashy words make the world turn, but it don't turn, right? Say what? I said flashy words make the world turn, but it don't turn, right? Say what? So I use these realize to realize the true lies being spoken. The iconoclastic, tactless tactician spits truth words like wrecking balls, and they bounce off brains because nobody likes to know what's going on these days. A bunch of hollow minds living on borrowed time. And we've been lied to. So this Baltimore poet is here to implore you to take your non-satisfactory lives back to the satisfactory so you could be reconfigured, so you can be rebuilt, so you can live your life right. See, the true you has been locked up in your ribcage for too long, and you need to let yourself go. Switch. Let's talk about love. I want to love like me thinking you thinking me thinking you type love, or me telling my friends more than I've ever admitted to myself how I feel about you type love, or loving how your first name just sounds so good next to my last name. Or I try to see how long I can hold up calling you and I barely made it out of my garage, or wondering how much it hurts when you're not here, or slow dancing to an empty apartment to the music of our hearts, or I want to fall in love with the melody the phone plays when I dial into her type love and talk to her until she leaves me breathless and I inhale all of her in my covers type love that on those long days when you come home, you ain't gotta say, shh, I already know what to do. Kind of that. Massage your back, make your skin sing songs your mouth doesn't even know the words to that. I want to die for you daily and resurrect myself from your screams. But see, I'm back in church now, so I'm talking about surrender my thought life to you. I'm talking about carry my old habits to crucifixion so I can die and live myself a better man for you. I'm talking about I have not yet loved you to this extent Christ loved the church type love, that if you could be converted, I could be your Martin, I could be your doctor and your king type love. Right? Check this out on that. So she said, so you one of those love poets, huh? I said, well, to be honest, I'm not really a love poet. Matter of fact, every single time I try to like a love poem, my hands cramp just to show me how much love hurts. Right? In my mind, love is a little bit like a supermodel before she was airbrushed, a little bit perfect and imperfect at the same time. It's kind of like
learning how to ride a bike without elbow pads and training wheels just so my scars could tell the world how much I felt for you. So she said, tell me a little bit about how you visualize marriage. I said, well, to be honest, I don't know when I'll be married, right? Every single time I envision my future wife, I picture her walking down the aisle and I get drunk off her steps. Her smile will be so big we don't even have to put Google, we don't even have to send invitations, you can find her on Google Maps. When the pastor asks me, do you take this woman? I'll say yes even before you finish it because I've been waiting 36 years of my life to tell you how much I love you. And side note, the woman that I love is in the back. But to close it out, and I don't really know much about love. I don't know when I'll be married, but I do know this. Every single time I think about my future wife, she sounds a lot like her. All right, y'all, we're going to keep this thing going, keep this thing moving. Y'all good? All right, on deck, we have Laura the Creative. And coming to the mic right now, we have Zach. Give it up for Zach. Give it up, give it up, give it up for Zach. Coming all the way to the front. Give it up, give it up, give it up.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I got a spoken word poem. My name is Zach. I have a quick exercise for y'all. If y'all can take a deep breath, like a deep ass breath. No, chill. All right, 1, 2, 3. So I'm trying to make sure everybody ain't tense, everybody relax right now. This space is very great. It's a blessing, especially during quarantine. Everybody inside may have depression, may feel like you're lonely. So I want to give a poem out. It's called I Am. I am. I am a black man, strong man, confident, optimistic, well-gifted, but to society, I'm a statistic. Taught to hate my complexion, taught to shut up and listen. So what do I say? I could follow the plan of others, so what describe who I am, basically following the plan of destroying the black man. Is that who I am? Who would you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? Wise words from Nip. As I increase, I want every bit of success I deserve. There is power in these words. There is power in these words I speak. Can be weak. Built in strength I obtain. I am a great man, far from a lame. See, I had to endure pain to realize the essence of my existence. Think about that. See, I had to endure pain to realize the essence of my existence. Unraveling hidden characteristics. Like, damn, was I lost? Playing taunts with my emotions, maybe I lost my focus. Can't dwell on the past, I'm simply rather than not, so I am. Not your typical, average, saddened type of reception you think is right. You know, it's funny how people think a book can be judged from far sight. You just got 2020 vision. 2020, year of a pandemic. 2020, year of an economic recession. 2020, wait. So I'm supposed to lose my progression, dive deep into depression, let people know I'm stressing, just for you to understand, just for you to understand, just for you to understand, just for you to understand the worth of my complexion. Nah, see, that's backwards pedaling. I simply ate a misconception, playing guess to an immature mindset seems to surround you. I am. I live and grow. Thoughts and success stay on my mind. I am who I am. I plan to shine. Within each rhyme, I plan to stay divine. I had to realign my focus. I had to realign my focus. Mindset caught up in chasing the nut. Mindset so bogus. Falling asleep doing church service. I learned from my mistakes. I relate to testimonies. I tell real stories that inevitably help tells mine. that inevitably help tells mine. My story, who I am, one of a kind. I am. Thank y'all. I got one more poem right now. It's called Let's Talk About. It's basically a love poem. Let's talk about. Let's talk about black on black crime and why we're so desensitized. Let's talk about. Let's talk about LOVE, love. Oh, I'm too really old school. Really, I just stay sane. But it seemed like you were a man just to change your last name. Is this love or a game? Let's talk about. Let's talk about art. I love when you're artistic, so gifted, body glisten, queen. Your body is a masterpiece. Let me stimulate your mind so I can have the key. Let's talk about. Let's talk about spirituality, like where your mind be, and how you get past adversity, and how you react when things ain't what it seems to be. Let's talk about. Let's talk about relaxation, verbal elation, meditation. I don't want to be complacent. I want to be the man you can relate with, no hesitation. Let's talk about. Really, I just want to love it, but you keep fronting like Jay-Z and Pharrell. I need me a runaway girl, works at LL, but our conversations ain't never parallel. Oh, I get it. Your mind never been intrigued like this. Shock feeling, mind spilling, got me thinking, am I talking to the right woman? Realization. All I wanted was a great conversation. So let's start. Thank y'all.
I'll be taking over the hosting duties for the rest of the evening, give a keynote break. I know it's getting close to 9 o'clock, so we got about 4 or 5 people remaining. And afterwards, if you would like to hang out or anything, it's always an option. So, yeah, next we have Laura the Creative, Poetry Spoken Word. Give it up for Laura.
Mine is a little old school, so I like to write myself down. Shout out to Blue Ties. If I don't know if y'all like fresh juice, black owned juicing company, so I got to shout out to them. So a lot of companies have been splattering our faces everywhere, and I thought to myself, like, there's a lot of internal dialogue that started to go on, and ultimately I titled this piece "The Dialogue." It's both internal and external. So they say that they want more of this like that, and these or those. Like, we chose to be demonstrative pronouns, to be spoken about in reference to something or someone rather than actual nouns. The condition of a person that supposedly lives. More of this, like that, and these or those, maybe to impose that we are performing. I mean, demonstrative adjectives reduced down to descriptors that doesn't quite embody our bodies, but provides digestible references to our mere essence of magnificence, our being. Yet not quite being. Imagine that. Like this and those and these ways of being so unseen, described as this and not beings. And they say they want more. Like, this is an implying consumption, like that assumption as if my ancestors weren't consumed enough. And as if those histories just weren't enough. Pushing more of this to the margins. Oh no, again, it said that they want more of this. You want this melanated skin, this mosaic of beautiful hair textures, this creative genius, this cool, this collected, this intelligence, this elegance, this brilliance, this Black excellence, this, like that, and these or those to them again aren't ways of beings, again just descriptors of consumptive marketing campaigns that eventually fade. So detached from our being. Is that what y'all truly mean? As if this was something that was mass produced yesterday so you can come get your borrowed cultural capital today. Proclaiming that more of this is an illustration for us to do better. And that is a quite rather interesting start, don't you think? Like, is it on instinct that you dilute a consciousness down to this? Again, imagine that. And those or these gestures are to invoke gratitude for permission to be. Honestly, more of what we have always been. Authentically, unapologetically, innovators, trailblazers, trendsetters, storytellers, and creators. The magnificent embodiment of our ancestors coming forth to the present to equitably be beings, breathing, feeling, thinking, living beings. Not these, those, that, or simply more of this. Rather, an understanding of me, a courageous dedication to the livelihood of we, an honoring of us. Now, this is truly what we need.
All right, thank you, Laura. Next, we have Alex Poetry. Alex Poetry. Sounds good.
I was in the other room. Wow. Wow. Cool. This is so lit, you guys. Like, is anybody else just like, whoa? Thank God for this. We are so blessed to have a space like this. I want to honor this space. I'm gonna read a piece called "The Corn Dance," and this is a piece that I wrote about a dance that I did while I was down in Phoenix, Arizona, in 2018. The south side of the desert, or the valley of the desert, down in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was in the midst of addiction and homelessness during this time. And before I had gone down to the desert, I had gone to Sundance, the Hollow Horn Bear Sundance over on the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota. And, I had done sweat and I had danced during the 14 days of the ceremony. And so when I was down in Phoenix, Arizona, in the midst of this addiction, in the midst of this darkness, I danced. And I danced and I sang and I worshiped on a level that I had never experienced before. And I had several dances, but this dance in particular was really powerful. And so it was in the south side of Chandler, Arizona, in a cornfield. And it started like this. Yahweh, Yahweh, hey, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, 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 Leo Yahweh, Leo, Leo Yahweh, Yahweh, Leo Yahweh, Leo Yahweh, I'm here, I'm there, knowing I'm redeemed, freed from chains, chains thick, chains heavy. Do you know these chains? I don't expect understanding from the still captives, only us woke to grasp this. The justice found in the redemption, redeemed. What's that mean? The darkness so heavy, in the midst of the valley of the shadow of death, ghostly, ghastly rims, wandering throughout the desert lands, often barely 1 foot forward, 1 step back. One look into the vision of forgiveness, eyes fixated on the one true and living. Despite the decay and crumbling, we had to wear heartless hearts. Look how long we waltzed amongst the bones, bare, beyond blind, way past the angst of pretend, wallowing amongst the mists of unforgiveness. We battled on. Our searching seemed endless. Is there no reckoning before the dawn? Somewhere within the wreckage, the dance of warriors has waged us on. I still listened. I heard the ancestors cry. I became that voice, my feet bare and tethered. The moon made love to the sunlight's kiss. I followed spirit, not why. By my heart, I summoned morning song. Feet by foot, I danced away each thought. What freedom found in the dance? What freedom of life do I meet in the midst of breath? This, life's fair playground. I dance all day, all 4 ways. This cornfield in the south, where I become the only kid pouncing clay, my feet, my body playing peaceful song to the sun and the ghosts I belong. Tonko Te Yahweh. God bless you all. Thank you.
All righty, we got a couple more left. Thanks for hanging in there. Let's see, this one. I'm the worst at names, so I ain't trying to butcher nobody's name. So it just say SIH, and I'll get lost right there. And it say poetry and spoken word. I'm not trying to miss anyone, so if you're interested. If this is you, what?
Is it Cecilia?
Cecilia.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Let's see what. Let's make sure. You right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Perfect. You got it right.
I connect my letters right.
Okay.
Hi guys, my name's Cecilia. This is something I wrote just this past Monday. I've only performed it one other time at the Women's March on Monday. Trigger warning, it is a poem about sexual assault. A man told me that it wasn't that big a deal, that I was exaggerating what had happened, that I shouldn't post my story on social media, that he's tired of always seeing people come forward with their stories on his timeline as if he can't just scroll past them. Like, anytime a survivor asks to be heard, they're asking for too much or asking for it. Like, I'm not asking you not to be tired of seeing the words #MeToo come across your timeline. I'm not even asking you not to scroll away, but if you're so tired of seeing the words #MeToo come across your timeline, why don't you do something about rape culture? Or the rapist who's posted just like, the ones who even give us a reason to make a post with the words #MeToo at the bottom. You say you're tired of rape survivors posting their truths, and I'm tired of people in the comment sections trying to denounce them. I'm tired of people in the comment section trying to say that they made up their stories, or it must be some kind of misunderstanding. I'm tired of the hate-filled people DMing threatening messages, because let me tell you, I got some of those too. And I know no one opens up Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter wanting to read about a rape survivor's story. But what do you do when half your audience is tired of your Me Too and the other half tells you that you're lying? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't like my story because Me Too. And I'm sorry that I walk around as if nothing ever happened to me, because I didn't know that you had to walk around with trauma constantly on your face. I'm sorry that you feel as if I'm dropping this weight in the middle of your vacation photos and funny memes, but I never asked you to wear my trauma. I only asked to be allowed to take it off. I'm sorry that you knew this person and you just know that they never do anything like that. And I'm sorry that I'm threatening your perfect image of them, but never mind, scratch that. Fuck your perfect image of them. I'm sorry. What I mean to say is, again, this year on my birthday, my rapist texts me saying, "Happy birthday, Sil." As if nothing ever happened. As if he didn't force himself onto me. As if when I said no, he didn't hear it. But I must have gotten the wording wrong, because he switched up my words real quick. I said no. I said don't. I said stop. And what he heard was, "Don't stop." Like, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I... He tried to play victim. As if he can take my Me Too and turn it into his. You say you're tired of seeing survivors post their truths. Into that, I say, Me Too, but for different reasons. You know how long it took me to say that? How many times my own mind tricked me into thinking that that's all people would ever view me as, victim? How many times my mind convinced me that no one would ever believe me? But I'm here to share my story despite what my mind tries telling me, because Me Too, Me Too, Me Too, Me Too, Me Too. You say you're tired of seeing Me Too on your timeline, and I'm tired of seeing yet another person who had to be strong and survive.
Appreciate that, Cecilia. I think we're just past 9 o'clock. We got a couple more to go. We got 2 more. Then, yeah, hang out, get a tour of the space. Once again, thank y'all for coming out. Let's go. We got Gregory back there in the cut.
All right, try to give it up for Gregory. Coming to the front. Gregory.
He was here the whole time. There we go.
There we go.
Hello, everybody. Got shirt on my road. All right. I once dreamt of a world where everyone was awake. Reality was great, no need to escape. A place with no space or time. United minds combined to form unlimited possibilities. Humans and nature intertwined peacefully, no hostility. Our capabilities were amazing, trailblazing, consciousness raising, no more enslaving. Images of propaganda fading. I was the indigo patiently waiting for the revolution. The people broke down the illusion, dissolution from dissolution, causing mass confusion. Knowledge was the solution. Ignorance, abusing the drugs we were using, dreams we forgot we were pursuing, is the reason why we're losing. If life is what we're choosing, we need to open up our eyes and see what we're doing. All right. I never met someone whose heart was shattered across far distances, but still gave love. Every thought and encounter I had with you is a misconception of my reality in my eyes. My mind was captivated by the simple things in life, but all I cared for was your unconditional love. If I ever hurt you, it will hurt me more, trust me. The distances between me and you grew apart, different times and places, but I feel my heart is still with you. I want to express my unconditional love, but I know that it is not waiting for me on the other side of my fantasy. You broke me once and you broke me twice, and I came back for more, even though all I gained was pain. I invested time and patience for games of a kid who played with my feelings like a child's favorite toy. I feel like every time I shed a tear, you laugh and relief. I cannot let go because my attachment with you is beyond human reach. I take a breath and I dive into a pool of awakening depression. My exception was not with you, but finding the right fit for the missing piece in my heart, soul, and body. I've never met someone whose heart was shattered across far distances, but still gave love until I looked in the mirror and saw myself.
All right. Give it up one more time. Appreciate that. Black vulnerability, Black love poetry, Black self-love poetry. 100%. All right, we got a few more.
And the last one.
Last poet of the night.
Patricia Jackson.
Give it up for Patricia. Give it up for coming to the front of the stage. Last poet of the evening.
Aww.
Hi, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. A short, I lost my daughter in a car accident in 2014, and her husband did it on purpose. She met him online. And I just want to say some scary people online, so be careful. Her son was in the car at the time. He was a year and a half, and this is him, and he's 8 years old now. Just to make it short, to help get through some of the pain, I wrote a book of poems and dedicated it to my daughter. And I had it published. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, and published it. The name of the book is called Look Inside, and the first poem is called Look Inside. I'd like to read it to you. When the hurt is so much that you can't see through, there's a hidden light to turn on down inside of you. Through the midst of the abyss, when you look deep down inside, it's what you're made of that helps you rise. So if you're going through some hurt or some doubt, remember it's the end result that brings you out to a place you couldn't see before, a place you won't be afraid of anymore. The strength that you find will be amazing, you see, as you look back and say, yeah, that was me. A sudden pride of what you've been through will arise as you tell your story to help bring someone else through to the other side.
Can we give it up one more time for that? And can we all just take a moment to just sort of breathe together, and you can close your eyes if you would like to, and just soak in every word, every poem, every poet that you heard tonight, and just breathe, giving gratitude to everyone who brought you here this evening, right? And breathing for everyone you will leave with this evening. And knowing that when you're in this space, you're in a space of Black cooperation and Black mutual aid, in a space of grace where we cooperate and show up for each other through our art and through our processes of creating, because that's how we create Black futures and a better Black community. Absolutely. And can we give some snaps for every single poet that's there tonight? Appreciate y'all. You are at the Black Table Arts Cooperative. We do events all the time. Feel free to become a member. Our next event is on the 17th. It's Black Lives Matter, a writing workshop. It has been such a joy to joy out loud with y'all in this poetry, in this space. Thank y'all again. Feel free to connect, hang out. We have time. Thank y'all for being here.
Everybody some love. Thank God.
I have a question. How do you become a member?
So you go to the website, blacktablearts.com, and then sign up membership. And then go right away to the membership, pay what you pay in membership. I kind of show you the process.
Okay. Black Table Arts. Okay. Like monthly donations.
Page, take you to a page where it's like, hey, become a member, like, thank you for joining, name, what's your artistic name, it's like a registration.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you
so much for stopping by. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you. Fun.
It's fun.
Even though I couldn't even know that I don't. But everybody that came through here, you just believe I got them right in.
Yeah, I'm really glad I came. I definitely want to come out with the events.
I'll be in contact with you. We got a lot of moving parts, but I got a couple more interviews, but I'll definitely reach out to you. So thank you for stopping by the door.
Yeah. Got me. I'll be back.
Good morning, church. Reach for the stars. Turn it back and back for an astronaut. No need for margin. Nothing's a stopping. Send some marching. I'm in the hearts.
Good. Good. Do you have any more of your cards? Yep, right here. I can help you get set up on your phone if you like to the platforms. Do you have a daughter that does clothing? My sister. Your sister. Okay. Yeah, you guys think I see they like an entrepreneur thing for you. All that makeup was. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. We're on there as well. So I think we got YouTube. I mean, like Instagram. I think it's on there. Yeah. Oh, good shit on my equipment. Yeah, but it would be like 40, to be honest. And it's somebody today. Yeah. And I love when you want to do the interview, but it's like nobody doing the work that you're doing. The back of your phone, is that you? That's me. What's your first name again? Shonda. That's right. That's so nice to meet you. I thought about it. I was like, I didn't put it up or whatever. You know, I'm even from here. Yeah. Oh, I gotta get another picture of you. Oh, thank you so much. We're now in the library. Well, let's see. Front entrance. Oh, I gotta get another picture of you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, do you have the flutter?
Yeah. So we got more sizes downstairs. I just gotta go. Let's get them. This is the black one.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get your picture.
Where you want to be at? No, where you want me to be at? You know what I'm Oh, his head is behind. Oh, that's so good. Just asking people, like if they perform tonight with a name, like right up in there. Just talk. Okay, so it's gonna go on. It's still going. Oh, okay, gotcha. Excuse me.
Look inside. So the people there to the surrounding
Yeah, I love it.
But I'll also don't.
Well, it's nice meeting you. Nice meeting you, man.
It's all on the side, too. Thank you.
You take this off? You take some? It's up to you.
Thank you for coming.
I'm sure gonna buy a few of them books. How do I do the membership?
Oh, the membership. So here's the link. So you come and take a picture of it, and then the link tree there should be a flyer.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hi, it's Rashonda with News on Purpose. Tonight we have had so many amazing performers come out and share their message, tell their stories through poetry, through song, through dance. And right now we have
King Lazarus Ra, the poet.
we got King Lazarus in the building. So how did you feel about your performance tonight?
Man, there was a few hiccups, but for the most part, I feel like I did a good job.
I think you did good. You got to give yourself those flowers. So how does it feel to be outside finally surrounded by our people?
I ain't gonna lie, this goes down as one of my most cherished moments that I will covet for the rest of my life. Seeing us come together with no drama, no beef, no ego, just everybody loving up on each other. For me, it was an amazing moment that I'll always cherish.
Definitely. It was definitely iconic. You know, we have been quarantined for a whole year as of March. So just to be surrounded by people that look like us, people that feel the same way that we feel, people that are going through some of the same obstacles that we are, it is very empowering and uplifting. So where can we find some more inspiration?
You can follow me on Instagram at LazarusHasRisen_. And just my advice would be just to look online and find any spaces where spoken word is being spoken. It seems like people who have appreciation for spoken word seem to have a higher level of interpretation of what's going on in the world. It seems like there's the way it correlates when people think in depth as far as channeling their thoughts, channeling their emotions, and putting them on paper and into spoken word. Individuals with that capacity, or who can operate from that capacity, can you're going to find that type of culture amongst those us type of individuals.
I have to agree. Well, you heard it here on News on Purpose. We got a couple more interviews we're going to do tonight, but stay tuned in. Make sure you're tapping that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Would you like to do an interview?
Sure. Yeah, I'm about to buy a sweater. I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
You wanted a sweater as well?
You can get your sweater.
Thank you.
You wanted to interview?
Maybe in a little bit, because I've done quite some interviews.
I just want to know about your experience. It's nothing major.
Okay, sure. Okay, right here. Okay.
Hi, this is Rashonda with News on Purpose. We have had such an amazing night surrounded by people that love on us like we love on ourselves. Speaking of which, this sister was speaking about this self-care and this self-love heavy tonight. So how did you feel about the event?
I felt the event was so amazing. What area do you know in Minneapolis where you can just be in a space of Black and brown excellence and just like saying words of poetry? And I don't know, it was really emotional. I didn't think I was gonna get so emotional, and it was really good. I don't know, it's amazing.
I have to agree. We have to create more of these spaces where we can be vulnerable, judgment-free, and transparent, and just lay down our burdens, and allow somebody else in the room to feel encouraged and to feel loved and to feel peace. So where can we find you on Facebook? Because I heard that you do some fire-ish things.
Yes. I am a Black circus artist, so that means I do fire and lots of other kinds of things. And my name is Sunchild, like Chile on Instagram. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, you heard it here first on News on Purpose. That's all for now. Next interview.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful. And make sure you subscribe and get a card.
Oh, can I get one more?
I was going to
And
say.
then actually, if you pull out your phone, Rashonda can help you get set up there.
Oh, okay, perfect. Here?
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, sorry.
I was going to say, you got it for one of your hands. We don't want to drop.
Oh, yeah. So I just go, where do I go?
Okay, so go to YouTube. Honestly, what you can do is go to your camera. You have an iPhone, right? Yeah. See, you can use the QR code. I'm just like all over the place here. You're like overwhelmed with just love and light. Yeah, it's like technology. Okay, so that. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here it is. So where is this? Where you just subscribe, right? Subscribe. Yay! I got it. Yay! Oh my gosh! I'm so to say I was just tears.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
I felt that 100 times. It was so spiritual. I don't know. I felt a little bit of that spiritual 14 days. I was just like, whoa. Yeah. I'm not ready for this yet. All right.
14,
Oh, look at you. You got
10 days and 40 days and 40 nights. Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. Over.
Over this way.
Over.
More.
Right here.
Hey.
Okay, got it. Oh yeah, the light and stuff. Okay, got you.
Cool.
So it's Rashonda with News on Purpose. Tonight again, they came out with the vibes. This will be my second time being at one of these events at the Black Table Op, and the house was packed. I mean, there's people outside. It was so many people here at this event. So many beautiful people came up and did spoken words, songs, and everything. And this is one of the performers that came up. He did a song mixed with a poem, and it was pretty dope. So could you tell us your name?
Yeah, my name's Alex Hamlin.
Yeah, Alex came through. His poem was so deep, and it was personal. So could you tell us a little bit about your poem?
Yeah, so a lot of it was like revolves around my spiritual practice. So a lot of my spiritual practice is like singing and dancing. But the poem was about a dance that I had done while I was homeless in the desert. Yeah, I was down there for 8 years. I was homeless in the desert, and that's what the poem was about. Was about this dance that I did down in a cornfield down in Chandler, Arizona, to help guide my spirit and get me, break the chains of the bondage that I was in, and experiencing my spirit and my body. So that's what the poem was about. And I suppose, like, on a level, it's like, hopefully by sharing it, I can help others, that are hearing the words and hearing the song to release something and free something within their own spirit. There's something that resonates on a deeper level, than surface level. I want to go deep into the human connection so that we can wake up and we can start to move forward in where we're being called in our spirits. I believe, we're in this time of change, and we're being called, to resonate with the spirit of healing, with the spirit of unity, with the spirit of, evolving into an awakened state. The spiritual state, it's a mental state, it's a body state. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it was pretty dope to see his performance. Cups were definitely filled. I was introduced to a different form of spirituality in dance. So I'm gonna have to tap in with that, look into that. So yeah.
I just want to express a lot of gratitude for this space and all the people that were here tonight. There was such a deep level of healing for me that I felt and I experienced. It was so dope. Between performances, and artists that came up to share. We broke it down and had questions and small group just conversation. And I think that was huge there, and then open share. That was crazy. I've never been in a space that's like that before. And that was really special for me.
I have to agree. Like, we've been quarantined for a whole year as of March, like a whole year. So we have to relearn how to communicate with each other and to be open and start those conversations. So, I really appreciate Black Table Ops for creating this space. For those that you are just now tuning in, this is a space for creatives, Black creatives in particular. There's a lot of things that they have here. They have books that you can buy. They have merch that you can buy. There is an open studio here. There is meeting spaces here as well. So you can check on their website and become a member. It is a pay what you can membership, so there's no high fees, but definitely tap in if you're creative and you need a space that's not at home, considering that we are quarantined.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back for sure.
That's awesome. So where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Instagram. You can find me at AL3X the Great GR8T 2020 on IG. You can find me there. Alex the Great with a 3 and an 8.
All right. Well, you heard it here first on News on Purpose. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for being open to the interview.
Yeah, pleasure.
You're welcome. Well, you have a great night.
Yeah, we'll see you again.
And make sure that you're following News on Purpose.
Yeah.
So that you can watch the playback of yourself.
Okay, for sure. Yeah.
Do you have your phone? I can kind of show you.
Yeah, show me what's up.
Where?
Do you want to post?
All right.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hi, hey. As we say, welcome back to News on Purpose. This was Chai and Chill at Black Table Arts. You heard some phenomenal poetry. You heard some spoken word. You heard some words of love, life, and everything else in between. Again, we are at 3737 Minnehaha Avenue South, so make sure you are at the next event. This place was packed. We had the entire room filled. We had the entire outside. We had people outside. We have people in the overflow. It was packed. So next time we do this event, make sure you show up early, get signed up, and also make sure you are in the space because as you have heard, it is healing, it is life, and it is so many things. And we just want to thank you for watching. We have the man Kino Evolve, and he just want to say good night.
Thank y'all so much for coming. It's been, again, an example of Black abundance and Black joy and Black togetherness. Our next event is on the 17th, Black Lives Matter, a writing workshop for Black poets. Yeah, it was just so joyous tonight. I'm still soaking it in. So, yeah, thank y'all for coming.
It was everything. Well, we're going to close it out. So always remember to stop living to exist. Start living on purpose, and you can do all that and more with News on Purpose and the Black Table Arts Co-op. Make sure you come on down. It is a pay what you can membership. Where you see that at? Where? Nowhere. Come on to this space. Have a great day.